This video is brought to you by Roll for Combat, an official Paizo actual play podcast. Visit rollforcombat.com today to listen to Agents of Edgewatch and join Basil, Dougie, Gomez, and Lomang as they protect and serve the citizens of Absalom from a mysterious and diabolical plot. Hey everybody, Dave here with another Pathfinder rule reminder for you, and today's question deals with the magic missile spell and how or if it interacts with a target that is concealed. So the root of this conundrum deals with the fact that a magic missile spell says that it always hits the target, it automatically hits the target and deals its damage. And the other side of that is concealed. The concealed condition says that any effect that targets a creature that is concealed has to pass a DC 5 flat check. So when these two things collide, where one, you've got to pass a DC 5 flat check to target a creature, and the spell that says that it automatically hits and deals its damage, which of those two is correct and how does this work? So, by a strict rules as written reading of the rules, yes, concealed does affect the magic missile spell just like it would anything else that has a targeting condition. I know that that's going to cause a lot of people watching this to want to scream at me, so let me also add to that at my table I would not apply concealed effects to a target of a magic missile spell. I would not give that concealment bonus because as a GM I'm empowered to interpret the rules however I wish, even if it goes against Raw, and this is one of those cases where I personally would go against Raw.
The reason I'm telling you all this is because I'm playing both sides so that I always come out on top.
So with that out of the way, let's kind of dive in under the hood and talk about what's happening here mechanically so that each GM out there can make their own decision of whether they want to support the rules as written or go with their own interpretation. When you cast a spell in 2nd edition, there's a very clear chain of events. Step 1, you target. Step 2, you roll a challenge of some sort, whether that be an attack roll or a saving throw. And step 3, you apply the results of that test, whether it be hitting and applying damage, or if it being missing or critical missing or whatever. So you target, then you roll a challenge, a test, and then you apply the results of that test. Now, when you look at the magic missile spell, it has step 1, you target one creature. Okay, pretty clear there. Step 2, you skip over with Magic Missile. The main benefit of casting Magic Missile is you don't roll a test with it. You get to skip over Step 2 and immediately go to Step 3, which is applying that damage. And so, Magic Missile, Step 1 target, skip over Step 2, Step 3, you apply your damage. So let's talk about the concealed condition. Concealed says that when you target a creature that's concealed against you, then you must pass a DC 5 flat check, or you automatically miss or fail whatever the effect was that you were trying to do to that creature. It's automatically lost. So if we think about that 3-step chain of events that are met whenever you cast a spell, you target, then you roll a test, and then you apply the results of that test. The concealed condition applies to the first part of that chain of events. It applies to when you target a creature. Now, Magic Missile, its special quirk applies to the second part of that chain of events. It allows you to effectively skip over Step 2 and go straight to Step 3. But Concealed, it applies to Step 1. So, once you target a creature with a spell, Magic Missile or whatever, that's when the concealed condition applies according to Raw. And therefore that would mean that yes, the magic missile would suffer the effects of concealed just like anything else. All of that said, the main reason why I don't enforce Raw here and I allow Magic Missile to always deal damage to its target at my games, even when that target is concealed to the caster, is because of the history of Magic Missile. Magic Missile is probably the single best known spell in Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder. This is this long history of tabletop RPGs, and it has always been the automatic hit spell. If you go all the way back to first edition, it arced unerringly towards its target, and I think other edition says it strikes unerringly at the target. It's always been the spell that always hits the target, and it does a little bit less damage on average, but you're guaranteed that hit. And that reliability of the spell is what the value of that spell has always been. And so even though by Raw in 2nd edition, a target with Concealment would get those concealed bonuses and benefit against someone casting Magic Missile to them, to me, that goes against the history of Magic Missile. It goes against the reliability of Magic Missile. It goes against what Magic Missile is supposed to be. So I follow the interpretation that it would still hit a creature that has the concealed that is concealed to the caster. But I always like to lay out both sides of the argument so everybody out there watching can make your own determinations. I will make sure I leave links to all relevant topics in the description as well. If you'd like to read up more on spellcasting and Concealed, I'll make sure you can do so. And as always, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel, whether it's through clicking the subscribe button, through liking, through supporting me through the Patreon, through leaving suggestions and comments, sharing the video. I really do appreciate everything you folks do to support me, so thank you for that. And with that, thanks for watching, take care, and happy gaming.